that's a year and a half that you could have made some headway if you didn't buy into that and then magically believe that, somehow you're going to be able to get yourself to just do, what you're trying to do.
Hi, welcome to the Judy Terrell Show, where I explore topics intended to optimize everybody 50, 60, 70, and above.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Your Second 50. I'm Judy Terrell. I'm a nationally board certified health coach. I have a master's degree in counseling psychology, and I have worked for 43 years in the weight loss and fitness industry. And I welcome you because if you're joining me right now, you are in my first episode of my 6-part series on what are the top self-talk sabotaging thoughts that I hear over and over again from my clients that are actually getting in the way of them making progress with either their weight loss goals or their health goals. All right. Welcome, everybody. So I'm going to jump right into it. This first one is one that I hear like all the time. And as I hear the client explaining it to me, like inside, like I want to scream, because when I tell you what it is, you're gonna see why. So the thing that I have clients say to me, the number one most common barrier to making progress is, Judy, I know what to do. You've given me all the tools. Now I just have to get myself to do it. And I'm not succeeding in doing that, but this usually comes at the end of a session, and they'll say, I know what to do. I know, I just have to get myself to do it. And that's where the conversation kind of stops. And then they walk out of my office, and then they come back in for a follow-up their next session, and they say the same thing again. And this is what the part that makes me want to scream is because, when you hear yourself saying that to yourself, what's implied in that statement is that you are going to be able to do that. You have the tools of the right things, the behavioral things that you need to do, and that, you're going to wake up tomorrow and this is going to be the day that you're going to be able to get yourself to do it, right? That's what's implied in that statement. It's almost like magically, like the things that are getting in the way of you actually doing it are going to miraculously disappear. What's going to happen there? Like, that's what I want to say to people. And I do kind of have to help to kind of massage that and, gently try and shine the mirror up so they can hear what they're saying from my view of it. And then we can maybe get at, like, what's underlying that? What are the barriers to you actually doing it? Because there are some, all right? So usually there's either psychological barriers, like there's a dissonance in your own operating system for what you want to do and the results that you want to achieve versus what you will have to give up, your perception of what you're going to have to give up or change in order to get that, okay? And when that is what's happening, your perception of what you're going to have to give up is going to be a lot of hardship, a lot of pain and discomfort. And what you're going to get, you're not guaranteed that, or it's too far in the future. And so the pain of feeling like you're going to miss out is going to be the deciding factor, and you're not going to do the thing that you need to do. Either measure out and portion control your food, or, not eat the white flour thing and replace it with a whole grain thing. What you need to do varies by the person. All right. And that's why you want to work with somebody to get yourself a program that is going to actually be a good fit for you. But assuming that you've got the right, behavioral steps that you need to follow, what is the barrier to actually get yourself to follow them? Okay, is what I'm addressing here. And this one, I call it magical thinking. I know what to do. I just have to get myself to do it. So see you later. See you in the next, session. And then they come back having made no headway on that. All right. So what do you have to do? You have to first accept that you can't do that on your own. Okay. You're not going to be able to just change, and wake up tomorrow and just be able to follow the plan. All right. There's reasons for why you're not. We got to get at them. Okay. And there's two kind of realms of which those reasons are going to come from.
Your Second 50.life is my virtual platform that is designed for both men and women over 50 and 60, 70, and 80. And it includes pre-recorded video information on exercise and how to do it whether you're fit and in good health or if you have bad knees, bad shoulders, a bad back, whatever. It includes information on how to eat for weight management and how to eat for health management. It includes information on the psychology of aging and what do we need to do in our heads, because let's face it, this aging thing is not for the faint of heart. So your Second 50.life is a virtual platform of resources that you can access at your own leisure, but it also includes 2 times a month live video coaching with me so that you can bring your own individual questions and get individual coaching as well as have access to all the information on the pre-recorded videos. So please check it out because we're all in this together. And we got this.
The first one is an internal, okay? And that's what I was just illustrating. In your own belief system and your values and your self-talk, there is a dissonance. What you need to do and what you know you need to do to get what you want, lower body fat, a healthier body, is in dissonance or conflict with the actual, making those changes, all right? And it usually has to do with a belief system that you have that you can't uncover on your own, all right? I'm going to use an example of an alcoholic who now says, all right, I got to make a change. They don't try to change their thinking on their own. They go to AA meetings where they then hear conversations and shares and information from other people that they would not come up with on their own, or they gain valuable insight from someone else sharing that makes them reflect back on their own thinking with an aha and seeing a way where they have to reframe what they're saying to themselves. All right. So you need to get help for that. You're not going to come up with that on your own. It just doesn't happen that way. I mean, I'm not going to say never. Occasionally that might happen, but more often than not, you need to get an outside source. So it's either a health coach, a life coach, or a therapist. You need to hire somebody that you can be speaking to about your struggles so they can take an objective ear and help reflect back to you so you can see where your own internal dialogue and belief systems are actually getting in the way of executing the behavior which you know you need to do. All right. So that's one realm that you need to be looking at to try and fix this. And then the second one is the exterior. Okay. The environment, the people that you're interacting with, the circumstances that go on in your everyday life. These are things that are external to you that can cause you to not be on the plan. So for instance, a very easy example is you're living with people and they're bringing food into your house that are trigger foods for you. You can't say, I'm not going to bring them in the house. You try to keep your area pristine or whatever, but then they come in and that environment is not conducive to you following your plan. All right. Now you've got to come up with some strategic, artsy kind of, ideas for how to minimize your visual stimulus of those foods. So in this example, one of the things I have people do is, put a shelf out in the garage or downstairs in the basement where your family can put the foods that are trigger foods to you. They have access to it, but you aren't triggered by it by visually seeing it when you open up a cabinet in your main kitchen. All right. So this is 2 examples. One has to do with the environment and one has to do with your internal operating system. And truth be told, most of the time there's factors on both of these that are playing into not being able to follow your, what you were trying to do. But my point here is that if you hear yourself saying this number one most common statement that I hear from people, and that is, I know what to do, now I just need to get myself to do it. You've got to red flag that and say, okay, the assumption here is that I'm going to be able to do that on my own, and I am not going to be able to do that on my own. So let me get help to get insight as to what's going on in my operating system, in my internal environment, and then reframe that. And then what do I need to do in my environment so I am minimally triggered and maximally able to stick to my program. But the point is that comment, that statement is a barrier, because I'm going to tell you right now, I have clients that will be saying that to me for a year and a half before they finally say, or they just stop showing up. But, that's a year and a half that you could have made some headway if you didn't buy into that and then magically believe that, somehow you're going to be able to get yourself to just do, what you're trying to do. Most likely that's not going to happen. Seek out help. All right. Life coach, health coach, it might be a personal trainer to get yourself to do the exercise, but an outside source, is going to be a very important component to get at the internal workings and try and find the sticking points in your thinking and your belief systems, and then changing your environment. You have to take steps in both those realms in order for you to have progress. And you've got to recognize that number one sabotage thought, I just got to get myself to do it. That's not going to happen. So make it happen by making changes in those two realms. All right, buddy, this is episode number 1. You're going to want to stay around for episode number 2, and there's 6 in the series. So see you soon on the next episode. And if you'd like to have access to some of my additional resources, I can be found at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on my website, www.judyterrell.com.